Paul, for sharing that insight as a public affairs analyst. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now we stay in the region. A fuel tanker has exploded in Nigeria's northern Niger state, which has claimed the lives of at least 35 people. The incident occurred on Tuesday on the Bida Agai road when the tanker skidded off the road, spilling petrol, which ignited moments later. According to the Federal Road Safety Corps, the fire engulfed nearby villagers who had rushed to collect the spilled fuel. At least 52 others have been injured and are currently receiving treatment at a local hospital. Tanker explosions are a recurring incident in Nigeria, fueled by the country's poor road infrastructure and limited pipeline system. The explosion's intense blaze has left many victims beyond recognition. This devastating accident highlights ongoing safety concerns in the transportation of petroleum products across the nation. Now we welcome back Ayanuga Olugbenga. Paul, he's a public affairs analyst, joins us live from Nigeria. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for staying with us. Now, what should government do to make sure that this doesn't occur again? And what more can you tell us about this situation, with this accident in Nigeria?
Well, this accident is one accident too many, and it's really sad because apart from this fuel tanker situation, just a few days ago on another road in the southern part of the country, there was a fatal accident where the vehicle burnt beyond recognition, but that was due to overspeeding, and all the passengers, it's an 18-seater bus, all the passengers died. But you will see one common denominator in this incident. Whilst on the one part there is issue of bad road, but most of the time it is not the issue of bad roads that cause majority of the accidents in Nigeria. People watching from outside or who don't have understanding of how these things work will say bad road quickly because they want to give the government a bad name. Yes, there are bad roads everywhere, but some of the fundamental issues that is causing, especially with tanker drivers, is fatigue sometimes, underage driving sometimes, because many of the tanker drivers here have what we call motorboys. That is the assistants to the driver. And sometimes when the driver is tired and they are on road stretch that are not from major city where road safety officers can easily apprehend them, they might ask their motorboys to drive on their behalf. And it's a case of learning by practice in some of those cases. So that tends to give room for accidents. Then also the issue of fatigue, where a driver knows that he's feeling sleepy, he has been driving for days or for several hours and is very tired, but because they want to meet a certain target, they will say, I would endure. And it's in the twinkling of an eye that they might lose consciousness and this accident happen. The other aspect of this accident is the issue of sensitization of the masses. The government have been doing a lot to sensitize the masses about running away once a fuel tanker falls. But unfortunately, the message has not gotten to many rural areas enough, because in many rural areas, they don't have access to Android phones where they could watch some of these messages in video that have been sent out by the government and even private individuals to sensitize people on the danger of going close to a falling petrol tanker. And in many of these rural areas, maybe their local authorities too are not doing enough to do sensitization, apart from the sensitization done at the federal level or maybe even at the state level. And that information gap is what led to this carnage, because with that accident, if people had not gone to scoop for fuel, the carnage may not be more than the driver and maybe his motorboy, or maybe those ones would have even escaped before the vehicle went up in flame and there will be no carnage. But because that sensitization is not well grounded enough, we still have this situation where people die. The other aspect is the response of fire service. So with the exception of maybe Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and a few city centers in Nigeria, the fire service in many of the states that are not in main city centers are nothing to write home about. And so when such incidents happen, it may take hours instead of minutes. In fact, in some cases, it may take even a whole day before they get to the location where the incident happened, which increases the probability of fire happening. And the particular location where this incident happened, of course, is heat prone. We are almost moving to the period where there is scorching sun. And so even if there are no other things to ignite the petrol, the heat in those areas, which could reach as much as 40 degrees Celsius, 43 degrees Celsius on some days, is enough to ignite the fire in those areas. And I believe these are all what is responsible for it. But at the federal level, the government is doing what it can to sensitize people to provide facility for safety and all the rest. But the state and the local government need to collaborate more with the federal or with amongst themselves to ensure that when this thing happens, rescue comes quickly and roads are built to ensure that this incident don't even happen at all. And then there should be proper monitoring of drivers, random spot check, because sometimes these drivers hand over to their motor boys to drive for them when they are tired, and sometimes those who don't hand over to their motor boys, when they are supposed to find somewhere to park and sleep, maybe for 30 minutes and 1 hour to regain strength and vitality, they will still be going in that fatigue, which will lead to accidents at the end of the day.
Thank you very much, Ayananga Oluk Benga Paul, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now we stay in the region. The